Nah. I come here to tell you that I've got another discrimination lawsuit filed from an officer against this police department. Former Minneapolis police officer sues chief and city for defamation. Now, police officer Tyler Timberlake, he once was an officer, I believe, of the Fairfax County Police Department in Virginia. While he was in Virginia, I believe he was let go. No, he was cleared of all charges, which I don't understand. There's video footage showing Officer Tyler Timberlake tasing a young black man. The black man hits the ground, rolls him over, put his hands behind his back, and hit him in the head. It looks like either his knee, taser, or something, but he hits him in the head because you can see his head being hit, and the only person around that could be able to do that was Officer Tyler Timberlake. Anyway, I believe he was put on leave, paid leave, administrative leave, whatever you call it, while they continued their investigation. Fairfax County decided to, or a jury decided to excuse him of all charges, which I don't understand. If any citizen was to tase any citizen, turn them around, put their hands behind their back, and hit them in the head, they would be charged with assault. But because you're a police officer with a badge, you're not charged with that same charge. I noticed there's a policy of immunity given to police officers. I don't recall that defensive tactic being taught in our defensive training courses. The way I seen from the video, the gentleman, he was trying to get on the ground for whatever reason. There's not enough detail in the video for me to give you enough detail about what happened before the video started or what happened after the video ended. So, but from what I saw in the video, he was no longer a threat. There was no need to put your knee on his head or anything on his head. He was on the ground. After you tased him, you was able to put his hands behind his back. The next action should have been putting him in handcuffs. But from what I saw, how was he a threat? And how the jury was able to say, Mr. Officer Tyler Timberlake, we're going to clear you of all charges and we're going to reinstate your job back. How Fairfax County came up to that conclusion, I don't know. I don't have enough information. But anyway, so Officer Tyler Timberlake decides, even though he was reinstated with Fairfax County Police Department, he decides to go and apply for a position at the Minneapolis Police Department. There's an issue going on right now where they're trying to get a registry for police officers who are involved in I'm trying to use my words carefully. Police officers who are involved in incidents that are unbecoming an officer. That officer is registered in this registry, so if they go apply for a position at another police department, they will be aware that this police officer has been flagged due to them being registered in this police officer registry for participating in conduct unbecoming of an officer. But according to Officer Tyler Timberlake, he went to apply for the Minneapolis Police Department. And during this hiring process, he went before a hiring board, which he said included the chief, which is Chief O'Hara, on the hiring board. He says that the incident that happened in Fairfax County was discussed in the hiring board. And so, with the Minneapolis Police Department knowing about this incident, they decided to hire Officer Tyler Timberlake. So he was hired. Now, I believe that the police department was wrong for hiring someone who is already, I wouldn't even want to take the chance. Because in my mind, this is how I would be thinking. Y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong. But in my mind now, hey, please subscribe. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for liking and sharing. I appreciate you, but hit subscribe, subscription. But no, in my mind, I wouldn't want to take the risk of hiring someone, even though they have been cleared. But because I know, especially Officer Tyler Timberlake, he happens to be a white officer. And there's always there's because of previous incidents with white officers using excessive force officers on black citizens that they would not have used on white citizens. I don't know if I would have took that risk of even hiring him, knowing I would be grateful that Officer Tyler Timberlake was truthful about what he did. I think this police department was wrong in hiring Officer Tyler Timberlake. But then again, I can't put the full blame on Minneapolis, because Fairfax County didn't charge him with anything. They denied all charges that was put against him. So they was probably looking at it like, okay, so he participated in this incident, which caused him to get on administrative leave, which caused charges to be brought against him, which caused him to have to go in front of a judge, exonerated him from all charges. So Minneapolis could have been looking at, okay, since he was exonerated for doing this, maybe we should go ahead and hire him. But there's a lot of people who are in jail who are innocent. There's a lot of people who are out of jail who are guilty. But I'm trying to give Minneapolis Police Department the benefit of the doubt now, because they're probably looking at, okay, he did this, but he was cleared from all charges in Fairfax, so we can't use a reason not to hire him, so we are going to hire him. So that's the benefit of the doubt that I'm giving to Minneapolis Police Department. So they hired him. Officer Tyler Timberlake is now in office at the Minneapolis Police Department. So after he was hired, the chief received a media inquiry, which involved the actual video. According to Chief O'Hara, he did not see the video of what happened. He only heard the story given to him from Officer Tyler Timberlake. Now, Chief of the Minneapolis Police Department, I want you to know this. I don't know if you know this or not, but me and Nana are about to let you know. There's always three sides to every story. It's going to be Officer Tyler Timberlake's side. It's going to be who we would call the victim side of the story, if you want to reach out to the victim or their family members, or if they don't want to be left alone, the police report from Fairfax County. You could have had it emailed to you. It's simple. I've done it myself, not a police officer. If I needed a police report for a particular incident, I would just call the police department and say, hey, can you send me case number such and such? Here's my email address. And literally within 2 to 5 minutes, I have the police report. Does it work that way in Minneapolis also, or Fairfax, or do y'all still use the mailing or a fax machine? I don't know. Either way, he says he didn't see the video until after a media inquiry got involved and sent him the video. After the chief got the video of what Officer Tyler Timberlake did, then they decided to terminate him, to fire him. Now, this is where I am on the side of Officer Tyler Timberlake. It's because Minneapolis Police Department didn't do their due diligence. I'm just thinking about me. If I'm on a hiring board, y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments. But if I'm on a hiring board, and I see an officer, or hear an officer telling me about an issue that got to the point where he was suspended or paid on administrative leave or paid leave, whatever you want to call it, to the point that charges was brought against him, to the point where he was relieved of all of his charges and given his job back, that would bring a huge question mark on me, where I would say, hey, we're going to do some more research into this incident. We hear your side of the story. Your side of the story sounds logical and reasonable to us, or whatever they told him, but we're going to look into this incident for us and get back with you. And all they had to do is make a phone call and say, send me the police report. And they should have made a decision after that to hire him or not. But then I could see Officer Tyler Timberlake saying, okay, I was exonerated of all charges in Fairfax, so how are you going to use that same incident for a reason not to give me a job? I can see Officer Tyler Timberlake making that argument. I really can. So I see it as a whole system. Hey, I just realized it's a rainbow sort of coming from my black love hat to my glasses. I don't know if y'all can see it. But anyway, nah. So I can see him. It's like a tricky case to me because it's like I'm blaming Minneapolis, I'm blaming Fairfax for something that they did that Officer Tyler Timberlake should not have done. But because they did this, I really believe that Officer Tyler Timberlake may have a case because of the way he was hired and fired. Y'all hired him without y'all doing y'all due diligence. And now y'all want to fire him after you do your due diligence. So he's filed the thing after he filed a defamation case against the chief in the city. From what I wrote down, he is filing for wrongful termination and the Whistleblower Act and defamation. So that's what he's filing a federal lawsuit for in Minneapolis Police Department. I really don't have enough information still, even though I've seen the video. I've watched the news reports on it. I've read the news reports, which is something that I like to do before I even do these types of videos. Even after all that, if any of you who have more information that would like to provide it to me in the comments, I'm open, my heart is open, my mind is receptive. But Officer Tyler Timberlake, who happens to be a white man, I do feel a legitimate argument on this because I feel Minneapolis and Fairfax failed the system as a whole for the people that they are hired to serve and protect. And because they have failed, they have allowed this officer, Officer Tyler Timberlake, to continue to work in law enforcement, which I personally, just me personally, should no longer be in. But because you hired him without doing your due diligence, now you want to fire him after you do your due diligence. I do think that's wrong. I don't think that's Officer Tyler Timberlake's fault. I really don't. I think he has the right to file the lawsuit he's filing. Thank you to Officer Tyler Timberlake for your service, even though I personally believe from the video I saw that it was wrong. But because you've been exonerated from all charges, you have the right to go to any police department and fill out an application, and it's up to the police department to hire. Those are your rights. I'm not saying I agree with that or not. And I personally believe because they did not do the right thing, that they can't say, we messed up, so as a consequence, you have now lost your job. Whether you was black, white, gay, crippled, or crazy, I believe that was wrong. So I personally believe you have a legitimate lawsuit based on what I have read, what I have looked. Like I said, I don't feel like I have enough information, but I do feel like that because Minneapolis didn't do their part and because Fairfax failed to do their part, that's why you're still in a position to even apply for a position as a law enforcement, which I think is wrong. But because you're still allowed to be a police officer and was able to get a job somewhere else as a police officer, why did you leave Fairfax County in the first place? You was exonerated of all charges. They gave you your job back. I wonder why. Why you left Officer Tyler Timberlake. Tell me why. I don't believe you left because you was working in a hostile working environment. I believe you probably left because the citizens you was working for were hostile towards you because they know what you have done previously. That's what I personally believe. Don't know if it's true or not. All of this is alleged. That's what I believe. But I still want to say thank you, Officer Tyler Timberlake, for having the courage to file a claim. Thank you for bringing another case in light to give a reason for the politicians to continue to push for this police officer registry. I believe it's in place, and this probably would have helped prevent you from getting hired in the first place at the Minneapolis Police Department. But I wish you the well. I don't wish any hurt, harm, danger to come upon you, Officer Tyler Timberlake. I think you did have the right to file this lawsuit. I wish you the best. I hope you get every single dime you've requested or whatever you requested from out of this lawsuit, because I do think it's wrong to hire you, and because they messed up, turn around and terminate you. I don't even know if you have a family or not, but that's taking food out of you and your family's mouth. I think that's wrong. I don't even know if you're married to a black woman or not. So I'm not saying you're prejudiced, but I'm saying from what I saw on the video that it wasn't a good look because of the history involved with slave catchers now becoming police officers in a lot of people's opinions. And then the fact that you are a white male officer who hit a man in the back of the neck, in my opinion, for no reason after he had been tased and hands put behind his back. But still, you're giving us another reason to move forward with our politicians with getting this. I don't personally have the power that I believe. I don't personally have the power to make this police registry happen. But I've heard that there are some politicians who are trying to get this police registry to happen. And I believe that this story is another great reason why they should do that. And at the same time, I do feel like your rights have been violated. And I'm glad you filed glad you had the courage to file the claim. All right, but if anybody else want to give me more, I'm interested in more information about this, because at this point it's like I'm confused. I disagree with everything that Officer Tyler Timberlake did in Fairfax County. I disagree with everything that he did, but I feel like he has the right in this case to file a claim. I really do. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate subscribing. Thank you for turning on that notification bell. Thank you for your likes. Please leave in the comments any complaints, comments, or concerns you may have. Thank you for subscribing. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. All is well, and love is all there is.